What is a swap? So swap is nothing but this is a agreement between two parties to exchange their future payments. Now, what kind of payments they want to exchange? See, let's say there is A who has taken a loan from Kotak Bank. There is a B who has taken the loan from HDFC Bank. Now, what they are worried about is A has taken a loan at fixed rate. So he is a fixed rate payer. B has taken a loan at floating rate. Now, at what rate you get the loans depend upon the bank, your profile. If your profile is very good, you get the loan at your own desired rates. That means if you want to fix the rate with the banker, your profile should match those standards, or your profile should be very strong, or you should be very credit worthy, so that the bank can give you that kind of, bank can agree to your terms. But if your credit worthiness, if your ratings are not strong, bank will not agree to your terms, but you have to agree to bank terms. So A has taken loan from Kotak Bank, B has taken loan from HDFC Bank. A has taken at fixed rate, B has taken at floating rate. Now let us take the interest rates as here 4% fixed, here MRR plus 2%. Now MRR can be anything, market reference rate is the previously we used to refer this with LIBOR, London Interbank Overnight Offered Rate. Okay. So London Interbank Overnight Offered Rate, that means if a bank is borrowing from another bank, what the bank A is bank one is borrowing from bank two, what bank two is charging to bank one. That was the LIBOR. Now LIBOR has changed to MRR. So this rate is not going to be stable. This is going to change. If it is let's say 4% today, let's say today fixed and floating MRR are same. In future it can go to 4.5%. It can go become 5. So it becomes 5, your floating rate becomes 7%, right? Now LIBOR plus 1%, anything you can take up. We can take up LIBOR plus 1%. So LIBOR today, LIBOR not MRR. Market reference rate today is 4%. After 6 months, let's say after 6 months or 1 year, they want to exchange payments with each other, because the interests are charged either semi-annually or it is charged annually. If it is semi-annually, it is 6 months, annually 1 year. So whenever they exchange their payments, that time whatever the rate is prevailing in the market, that rate is considered. Okay. See, initially you may know the MRR. When you made the swap agreement, when A and B made a swap agreement with each other, they knew the MRR is nothing but very much equivalent or nearby to fixed rate. But in future, what the MRR is going to be, no one knows, right? That's what. Initially, the MRR is known. Now, here there is one thing you need to understand. There is a whatever. See, A may take a 50 lakhs loan, B may take a 30 lakhs loan. Doesn't matter. What they do is they fix a notional principal, a imaginary figure. Let's say it is 10 lakhs. And on 10 lakhs, they will exchange their payments. Now, what is the swap agreement? A is worried that the rates, if go down in the market, of course, the rates can go down because your rate is fixed, MRR may change. If the rates go down in the market where A has taken loan, then A has to pay more interest. That is A's worry. And B is worried that if the interest rates go up, then B has to pay more in this market where B has taken loan. That is B's worry. So for any floating rate payer, higher interest rates is worrisome. And for any fixed rate payer, lower interest rates is worrisome. If rates go down, they pay more. If rates go up, this floating rate payers pay more. Now what they do? They know their concerns better, and then they agree to exchange payments with each other. Now onwards, A will not make the fixed payments to Kotak Bank. A's payment will be made by B. So here, instead of A making the fixed payments, B will be the fixed payer now. B will be the fixed payer, A will be the fixed receiver. and B's payment to HDFC Bank, B is not going to make. A is going to do that. So A is going to be the floating payer and B is going to be the floating receiver. So here we write A receive fixed, A pay floating. From fixed payer, A has become floating payer. B, as A is paying floating, B receive floating. And B pays fixed. Now, what are the amounts they're going to exchange, and MRR after 1 year has changed to, let's say, we discussed 4, right? It has become, let's say, 5 plus 1. Now the MRR is 6%. Now you tell me one thing I would like to tell, and always we used to discuss in the class as well. Derivatives are zero-sum game. One party's gain is another party's loss. So here, B will be paying more and A will be receiving more. A will be paying less, B will be receiving less. So here, who is receiving more is going to be the beneficiary, right? So now let's see what is going to happen. On 10 lakhs, B is going to pay what? Fix. Okay, B is going to pay fix. So B was paying what? Floating. I'm sorry here. The rates are like A is fixed and B is floating. Now B is going to pay the fixed payments. So B is going to make A's payments and A is going to make B's payments. We will simply take the notional principal, multiply with the rates. Okay. So A used to pay 4% to the Kotak Bank. Now A will pay 6% because A will pay floating, and in that market the rates are 6%. So A will pay 10 lakhs into 6%. How much, Hepzibah? Tell me. 60,000, right?
60,000.
Yeah, and A is going to receive how much? Because B is going to make A's payment to Kotak Bank. So A's payment was 4. Now B is going to make 4. Yeah, and A's payment was 4. So B is going to make that. And B's payment was 6. A is going to make that. So now, so A is going to pay 60 and A is going to receive how much? 40.
40.
Right? Yeah. And B is going to receive how much? Pay how much? B was paying how much? 60. But B will pay how much now onwards? 40. Now who is paying more 40. And who is paying less? Yeah. So A is receiving less and paying more. So 20,000. And B is receiving more, paying less, 20,000. So the gain is for whom? For B. This is the swap agreement. Now see, they can mutually agree to do one thing. What they can mutually agree to do is, let's say A and B say that whoever is going to, win in this or gain in this, we will share the gains 50-50. So let's say if A gives the benefit to B of 50%, they share. So A's loss is going to minimize to 10,000. That can also happen. Okay, still B is at gain. Okay, so please have a look to this. Swap agreement is done. I will give you a small introduction related to FRA also, and after that I'm going to take you to the chapter deeply. If this is understood, I'll move forward.
Yes, sir, understood.
Yeah. See, FRA, forward rate agreement, is very, very similar to swaps. Why? See, in swap also, floating and fixed payments are exchanged and we net that, right? Now, let's say A is going to receive the floating. Let's say, for example, 60, and A is going to pay the fixed one, floating and fixed, 40. So A is going to gain how much? 20. Fine. So in this way, FRA also gives gains to, long FRA and short FRA in different scenarios. So there are two types of forward rate agreements. One is long position in interest rates, taking long position in interest rates, and another is taking short position in interest rates. So what is this all about, this long position and short position? See very clearly, people want to hedge their future interest rate payments. They can hedge that through either swaps or through either forward rate agreements. Am I right? So what FRA does, when interest rates are not going in your favor, FRA will give you the benefit, or FRA will hedge you from that risk. So how is it going to hedge you from that risk? Let's say there is a long position I'm taking in FRA, and long FRA is 3 by 6. That means after 3 months, I am going to borrow for next 6 months, and my rates will start at the end of the third month interest rate and at the beginning of the sixth month. Okay. From that period, I'm going to pay the interest. So agreement is like after 3 months, I'm going to borrow for 6 months and pay the interest for 6 months. So the total time period of this is 9 months. That's called 3 by 6 FRA. Okay. Now, just a second. Just a second. Just a second. Someone is coming. Okay. So we were discussing about FRA. So what is this FRA clearly here? There's a small correction. If it's 3 by 6 FRA, it's borrowing after 3 months for next 3 months. So borrowing after 3 months for next 3 months. That's the reason why it becomes 3 by 6 FRA. The agreement will end in how many months? The agreement will end in 6 months totally. If I ask you a question, 1 by 4 FRA, what's the meaning of this, Hepzibah?
Borrow after 1 month,
Yes. For how many months?
4 months.
Sorry? 4 minus 1, 3 months. See, it was borrowing after 3 months for next 3 months. How I got 3 months? 6 minus 3. So borrowing after 1 month for how many months?
3
Tell me.
months.
3 months. The total
3
time period
months.
is for 4 months. So the agreement will start after 1 month. After 1 month, you will borrow. Then the interest will be levied on you for how many months next? 3 months.
3 months.
That's what. Okay. So that's what 3/6 is nothing but borrowing after 3 months for 3 months. So it is a 3 month loan here. Here also it is a 3 months loan. If I tell you FRA 2/5, borrowing after 2 months for 3 months. So total time is 5 months. Understood or not? And the loan is for how
Yes, sir.
much period? Loan is for how much period?
3.
3 months. The loan, the interest will be charged to you in this 3 months. You will borrow after 2 months. Okay. The entire time period is 5 months. That's what. Okay. So now how to understand whether you have gained in this FRA or lost in this FRA? I'll take a small example. Then we will immediately move to our main topic, because if you don't know these basics, the topic is something you're not going to understand. So let's take a long position in 3/6 FRA. Long position is nothing but when the rates will increase, you are still going to pay the rate which you fix in the forward rate agreement. It's like, when you take call option, you fix the price to buy a stock, right? That is called strike price. And when the stock price goes up, you are speculating, right? If the stock price goes up, you want to make profits from that call option. You are long in call option, right? But in same thing is applicable in case of 3 months FRA. You are speculating for interest rates. You think that the interest rates are going to go up. So even though it's going to go up and you borrow some money from bank, you borrow money, you borrow 1 lakh rupees from bank. Okay. And when you fix the agreement, the interest rates were 5%. But what happened when you were supposed to make the interest payments or whatsoever, the rates have gone to 7%. Now, what happened? If at all you don't make any forward rate agreement, how much you're going to pay, Hepzibah? 7% interest, correct?
Yes, sir.
If you don't make any agreement, but you made an agreement and you fix the rate, so how much you're going to pay now? 5%, right?
5.
That means, of course, these two run in different markets. Let's say you have taken a loan from a bank A. So now understand, FRA is not something like, you are taking any loan here. No. Nothing is borrowed, nothing is lent. Only the rate differences are going to hedge your interest rate risk. That's what. Now understand that. Bank A, you have taken a loan of 1 lakh. Okay, Bank A, you have taken a loan of 1 lakh. When you took the loan, the interest were 5%. Now today it is 7%. So instead of paying 5,000, you are ending up paying 7,000, right? So how much you paid extra here? 2,000. That 2,000 extra amount you paid because of the interest rate risk. Now, how to hedge this? From Bank B or with Bank B, you made a FRA, forward rate agreement. You told the bank clearly that I'm going to borrow some money from you for some few months. After 2 months, for next 3 months. So 5 months. The total time period is 5 months. The interest will be charged to you for 3 months only. Okay. So that point of time, you expected the interest rate. You expected, yeah. See, market can move in any direction. It's not necessary that the rates can go down. The rates can also go up. So to protect yourself or to hedge yourself, you have taken a long position in forward rate agreement. So you fix the interest rate to what? 5% in FRA, correct? Now, in the market, the interest rates are what, Epsiba?
7.
So you are going to gain from this. If the rates are high, the other counterparty is going to
Yes.
pay you how much?
Extra.
Yeah, see, here you are winning, other party is losing, right? Derivative is a zero-sum game. So when the rates are going up, the other party is going to pay you 2,000, correct or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is your loss, net loss? You were paying 2,000 extra, like when you did not hedge it. Unhedged is 2,000. But due to hedging, how much you're getting? 2,000. So what is your net loss?
0.
Finished. That is what is forward rate agreement. Okay. So we will take up this example and then we'll move forward. See, I'm taking notional 100 rupees to keep it very simple. FRA, forward rate agreement, fixed rate. I fix the rate at 5%. And after 3 months, okay, actual, when the interest is supposed to be paid, the rate becomes 6%. Now, what is going to happen? Are you going to receive or are you going to pay? This is an FRA. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Epsiba,
Yes, sir.
you are fixed 5%. The rates are 6% in the market. Are you going to gain or lose in this FRA?
Gain.
Of course, you are going to receive. So, at settlement, the value, actual rate in the market is 6 minus the fixed rate, what you fixed, 5 into 100. So $1 you are going to gain from this. Okay. That is what is FRA. So I'll write a short note here. You want to see this once? Then I'll move forward.
Okay, sir.
Okay. See, position, you pay, you receive profit. See, if you take a long FRA, you only pay fixed rate. Whatever the rate is prevailing in the market doesn't matter. You fixed it, you pay this. You receive what? Floating rate. That means the difference, extra money you're going to receive. So you pay what fixed? You pay 5. You receive how much? 6. So if at all, on 100 rupees, if you pay 5 rupees and you receive 6 rupees, the net is 1 rupee gain, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You profit only if rates go up. In short FRA, see, short FRA is from the perspective of lenders, like banks. See, banks worry if the interest rates go down, they're going to get less interest. So what they do, they fix the rates. They themselves go for a short position. They tell that whatever the rates are going to be in the market doesn't matter. I will fix the rate, and that rate only I'm going to collect from you. Okay. If the rates go down, then also they take the rates what they fixed. So in that way, if the rates are going down, they are going to gain or not? Yes, they're going to gain. Yes, they're going to gain or not?
Yes.
Yeah. So what happens here? You pay floating. That means, let's say the short FRA is at 5%. Rates have gone to 2%. Okay. So what is you are going to pay on 100 rupees? 2. But you are going to receive how much? 5. So 3 is what? Your gain. Instead of, even though the rates have gone down, you will receive your interest. Correct? Fixed rate. And if rates go down, you benefit. It's like put option. Okay. So this was about FRA. Now let us go for our own main topic in the chapter. It's a one-page chapter only, but basics are required. I have almost covered the basics for you for both the topics. So pricing and valuation of interest rates and other swaps. So I'm going to start with a very good example, and please listen to that, what is happening. Okay. So just now we covered about the swap, interest rate swap, and we discussed that one party pays fixed rate, other party pays floating rate. Both payments are made on notional principal. They are exchanged. Okay. One party gains, one party loses. Fine. So now what you need to understand about the next topic, what we are going to say. See, your swap rates are very identical to forward rate agreements. How they are identical to forward rate agreements? Here also fixed and floating payments are exchanged. In FRA also the similar kind of thing is happening. What is happening? You fix the rate at 5% and you receive how much? 6%, right? So here also you fix one rate and one floating rate is prevailing in the market. So don't you find very much similarity in these two, Hepzibah? Are they not very identical? The concept is not very
Yes, sir.
identical. Yes. So if I want
Yes.
to find out the swap rates, I can take FRA as my base. Taking FRA as my base, I can easily find out my swap rate. Okay. So I can say swap rates are nothing but, you know, forward rates. I can, if I take forward rates as beads, and if I, tie them, because let's say 4 beats, and every FRA is made in one quarter, quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four. So if I, if these are FRAs, these beads are like FRAs, if I, completely tie them, that is very much similar or equivalent to swap rates. Okay. So now let us do one question and understand that. Let's say we take a notional principal, $100. Fixed rate, let's say it is 5%, and I'm taking quarterly rate. So, if I take 5% for 4 quarters, it's going to be 1.25% every quarter fixed, right? Floating rates, it's not going to be the same. It's going to change for every quarter. I'm going to take those rates also. Floating rate is based upon the market reference rate, changes every 90 days. Yes, floating rates change every 90 days. When the first FRA or first agreement is made, swap agreement or whatever, first initially the MRR for the first quarter, but other 3 quarters MRRs you may not know, right? Because first 90 days you know the rates, what is prevailing in the market for 180 days, for 270 days, for 360 days, second, third, fourth quarter, we may not be knowing always. So floating rate MRR changes every 90 days. Duration here, 1 year, 4 payments, payment in 90, 180, 270, 360 days. Okay. Now what we are going to do here, let's assume the floating MRR for each quarter. I'm only assuming them. Okay. So, I want to simplify the things for you. Assume floating MRR, because I want to explain you the differences in textbook, what they have explained. I'm going to make it simplified for you. Okay. So floating rate MRR, let's assume for each quarter. Four 4.5%, 5.0%, 5.2% quarter one, quarter two. And we are going to actually, if I take up this one, 4.5, let's say it is annual rate, not quarter. So annual rates, we will make it for quarter. Okay. MRR annualized. So quarterly rates will be 4.5% by 4, 1.125%. This is also annualized MRR. Okay. Let's convert this into quarter. fourth quarter, so we have all the floating rates of each and every quarter. Now what we are going to do is we are going to see the difference in market reference rate and fixed rate, and we are going to see who is going to pay to whom. Okay, because this is a, what is this? It's a
Ah, swap
FRA.
agreement.
Understood? Next.
Yes, sir.
We can take interest. This is interest rate swap. Interest rate swap is nothing but very identical to FRA. So in FRA also you are going to receive the difference amounts. Interest rate swap also you're going to receive the difference amount in fixed and floating. Now payment difference per quarter. So we will take the MRR in that quarter. I represent by N minus the fixed rate, that is floating rate minus fixed rate, okay, per quarter. And we will take notional principal 100, so we'll multiply with that, okay. So quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, 1.125% floating rate, 1.25, 1.30, 1.50. And here what are we going to take? Fixed rate. 1.25, 1.25, 1.25, and 1.25. Now you tell me, in case of, if the, who is going to pay more in this case? Is the fixed rate going to pay more or the floating rate going to pay more? Hello?
So fixed is how much?
Fixed is 1.25, floating is 1.125.
Fixed.
Of course. So when the rates, here the rates are more, here the rate is more, here the rate is less. And in this case, the rate is more, the rate is less. Who is going to receive the fixed one, right? So here 1.1,
Yes.
here fixed guy is going to pay to the floating, and here the floating is going to make the payment to fixed. Here 0. Here from the floating, the fixed will get the difference 0.05 rupees. And here also from the floating here, the fixed is going to get 0.25 rupees or dollars, whatever. Okay. So swap, I right now told you, is series of FRS, forward rate agreements. So this is what is the concept we understood, MRR minus F. So swap is a series of FRAs. So we understood what is FRA, right? So see, now how is a swap similar to three FRAs? Three FRAs, why I am considering? Because the first, when you see the first quarter, you really know the MRR, the market reference rate. So first quarter, the payment is known, correct? How much you're going to get. But for the next 3 quarters, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, do you know what's the payment is going to be done to you? What's the payment is going to be? Because MRR is not known, right?
No.
So unknown
Yes,
payment.
sir.
Yeah. Unknown payments, right? So each swap payment quarter 2 to quarter 4 acts like a long position in FRA. I told you it's very similar to FRA. Okay. So each quarter payment, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, quarter 2 is like, I write it here. Each swap payment from quarter 2 to quarter 4 acts like a long position in FRA. Very clear. So here in quarter 2, FRA settles in 180 days. And what is the payment you are going to get? Either you are going to receive or pay, depending upon the situation. MRR 2 minus F, right? And in quarter 3, MRR 3 minus F, right? And in quarter 4, MRR 4 minus F, right? Similar things you're going to see